Hey everybody, welcome back to another 10-minute Marvel video. I'm Petter, and today we're going to be talking about one of the comic book omnibuses that I have read. And actually, I have a fancier setup this time for it. And this is Jonathan Hickman's Fantastic Four. And I think that there's going to be an element of this Hickman run that probably is going to be important for the Fantastic Four first steps. Now, this isn't an alternate universe, but we do have, as you can see, Franklin and Valeria, and them getting set up in a universe. But this other thing that Reed is working on, let's look at it right here. The bridge. This is his ability, his way to look into other universes. And it leads into, well, a number of problems. Problems such as he heads into the bridge, what's going on in the Baxter building. They find themselves, Johnny, Ben, and Sue, being dumped into all sorts of different settings, different parts of the world, while Reed is really exploring that multiverse to understand what happened. Now, a lot of this is around, he wants to stop and correct the mistakes of the Illuminati, of what happened in Civil War and Secret Invasion. How can he fix it? And yeah, you get some kind of interesting settings there. But as he continues, and we have Osborn coming there, I want to get to kind of a fairly important point. We're not quite there yet, but dealing with Norman and what's going on. He's not just dealing with something basic. He's dealing with something fairly unique. And I want to get a good picture. There's some coming up here. But basically, Sue asked him to destroy that bridge, which he says, oh yeah, I'll go do that. I'll destroy that bridge for sure. Except he doesn't. He takes it down and he rebuilds it in another spot. And it's kind of about that hubris of Reed Richards that shows up so much in this story. This council of Reeds and the betrayal of that council. So something that's kind of familiar to us with the post-credit scene of Ant-Man Quantumania. And I hope that they pull in some of this idea of Reed's hubris, and maybe even the bridge, that idea of the Council of Reeds and working together. It brings in Galactus. That's what tempts Galactus. Because here, the Celestials come to attack. I don't think we're going to get Celestials, but it's a really fun element to this because there's more that happens too. Let's see if I can find the spot for it. First off, we get Future Foundation, but beyond that, oh yeah, we have this moment here. Somebody shows up. Somebody comes into the kid's world, and we don't really know who it is, though the kids do find out. And we find out in this story that this is an older version of Franklin Richards. You can probably find some moments of that in here as well. And there's a bunch of different stories going on, but the overarching story going through is that Valeria has been given this task by Franklin Richards. She is supposed to figure out a way to stop Reed. And you think about it as like, okay, well, she's figuring out a way to stop the Reed Richards, but she is sent particularly to Doctor Doom. And Doctor Doom at this point in time has had a problem of some sorts. His magic, his powers have been pulled back, and she offers to heal Doom in order to help stop him. And that storyline and this idea of these different nations, the sound of war, as it's said there, we have these different groups. I don't think we're going to get this exact storyline. I don't think we're going to get the Inhumans in there and these different nations. I went too far back there. So we have High Evolutionary, we have Doom. So I go back a few spots here. Yeah, just a bunch of different villains who are brought in to stop. So yeah, the Watcher, High Evolutionary, Nathaniel Richards, Reed Richards' father, Reed Richards, Valeria Richards, Doom, Diablo, the Wizard's AIM lieutenants, and the Mad Thinker. They all need to come up with ways to stop Reeds, but these are Reeds from other universes that they need to stop. It's not this Reed Richards, but it gives you that like little question in your mind. And as you can see, Spider-Man is with the Fantastic Four. This is Johnny dies or is lost in the Null universe, I believe, with the Annihilation Wave that had built up there. And so these villains have to come together to do what they want to do, which is take out Reeds, but in particular they have to face off and they have to take out the Reeds that are the ones who don't belong in this universe. Let's see if we get any of them there. So as the heroes' characters show up there, giant monster, and there's a different Reed down there. Of course, Sue doesn't necessarily know all of this is happening. And I'm going to pop back up now as I've showed off a number of pictures that this is really such a good story because it is about that family and it's about what you do to save the world. Like, what cost are you willing to go through? How much you're willing to sacrifice. And I mean, super good read. I want to continue with this. There should be, I believe, an Omnibus 2 out or coming out for this, because it's this story that needs to expand and be told more of. How are they going to stop the different characters? I guess I could have gone a little bit further and found a few more pictures, and how do they stop this war? How can they save the future from this inevitable destruction and corruption, I'm not sure how to describe it, that was going to take place. It's a fun question to ask, and I think it's going to be one of those things that Fantastic Four First Steps, I read it because I know Fantastic Four First Steps is coming out, plus Jonathan Hickman stuff is really good. And this one just stood out to me as this story of the family, which I want from the movie, and of kind of that, the weight of genius. The fact that Reed feels that weight on himself, and that drives him and focuses him on finding that one solution. It's not in here, but I believe it's in Jonathan Hickman's Out of Time, like Avengers and New Avengers, with the incursions, where Reed talks about it, how Reed is probably smarter than Tony Stark when focused on one thing. However, Reed is very focused always on one thing. Tony Stark's genius is that he's able to hold so many different things, so many different ideas in his head at once, and really be working on a bigger picture. Whether or not that's always a good thing, that's what he's able to do. And having that element of the story here with the bridge, like the bridge is a great parallel for that. Reed is obsessed with it, and all the Reeds in the Council of Reed believe they are the only way forward to solve everything. And in fact, they have to give up their loved ones and can't have them because they have to be so singularly focused. That's just a fantastic, all puns intended, story element, and one that I hope that they pull into this Fantastic Four movie, because that's what makes the Reed in this universe, and it's going to be a parallel universe, that's what makes it different, is that Reed is not obsessed in the same way. So that's just my thoughts on this book, and if you're looking for a Fantastic Four book to jump into, this one is phenomenal for that, and I really do recommend it. It launches off at the Future Foundation as well. Just does an extremely good job with all of that. But let me know your thoughts on this comic down in the comment section below, and your thoughts on the story that I'm talking about. Does it sound like a good story to you? If you enjoy this content, please give the video a thumbs up, and check out the other videos that we have. I did a video previously on the Moon Knight Jeff Lemire story, and you can find that from, well, start of the week, as well as then plenty of other videos on Marvel trading cards, comics, stuff like that. But with that, again, I just want to say thank you to everybody for watching. If you want to hear our full conversation around the Marvel news and rumors, that happens every week on, well, Sunday night, Monday morning is when it comes out, our 10-minute Marvel podcast. We're going to be talking about the Daredevil Born Again trailer coming up on this next episode. And you can find that podcast here on YouTube. Click onto the channel, subscribe if you haven't already. We appreciate everybody who has and who is checking out the videos. And then click on the podcast tab. Or you can search for 10-Minute Marvel wherever you get your friendly neighborhood podcasts from. But with that, we'll see you next time.